Did I actually get the... Oh my god, I actually got the first one.
I don't know. It might have been like cut off a little bit.
Question of the part. Who got the first hay in? Comment below. Auto bot that keeps commenting on all of our videos whenever I make them public. Heh.
So we're here with Mega Man X5. I said I wasn't going to do this game, but I felt weird leaving the trilogy. Like, this might legitimately be the last time I visit the PS1 games for a long time.
Rip.
So,
You did Mega Man Legends 2, right?
Yeah.
Did I do one? I did one and then you did 2.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you did X4, X5, X6, and 8. Well, that's it.
Yep.
That's all of them. X7's next, lads.
I'm probably going to do Mega Man regular 7 eventually. But anyway, this will be just a 0 run. Not 100% because it's literally impossible to do 100% 0 only.
Oh, so you... Can you switch between X and 0, or, like, no?
You can, yeah. But I want to specifically do only 0. Anyway, I want to do this in one sitting, so I'm going to be skipping as much as I can.
Hey, for the Alex Swingles out there, because he was like... The other video, he was like, you're mashing so hard, I can't even... for X6, I don't know if you saw, he was like, you're mashing so hard, I can't even read the story if I pause it. I'm like, Alex, what story?
Yeah, this game is... The cutscene that happened right there was Dynamo. And this game is all about mashing. The worst thing about this game is Alia saying anything.
Yeah, this is the one that AVGN kind of famously did, where, like, Alia, every time you do anything for the first couple stages is like, hey, look at that. Like, what's she saying? Like, story stuff or how to play the game?
Yeah, it's either just the gimmick that's happening ahead or just telling you what's happening, I guess.
So here's a question.
But this one's like, hey, the ceiling looks dangerous.
Oh my god! And then you move one step and it falls. So, okay, here's a question. This is X5, right?
Yeah.
Do you assume, as a developer, they've played at least one X game before, or do you have to make it like they've literally never played a video game before in your life?
Yeah, it's...
Like, would anyone, like, really start with X5? Like, I would understand even starting with X4, because you didn't have a Super Nintendo, but, like, why would you... I don't know. I mean, yes, it happened in the world,
yeah,
but, like...
You sort of have to choose between the biggest demographic possible, or catering to your fan base, and doing one or the other is usually a lose-lose situation, where if you just cater to fans, the sales will steadily decrease, because you're not getting a new fan base into the games. But at the same time, when you dumb them down, like the newer Pokemon games, it can really make you feel like you're being babied.
To be fair, if you put little budget into the game, you can make something go on forever. Like, for instance, I can't think of a more fan service game in the entire world than Hyper Dimension Neptunia, and they have, like, what, like, 10 of those games?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
And, I mean, there's nothing... I remember the first time I saw that, and I was like, what is this? It's like... A girl is PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, like each separate girl, and it's like, what am I seeing
Yeah,
here?
it's just a pandering fan service game. Even I can't defend it.
But they made like 10 of them, so as long as you keep your budgets small enough, you can definitely release games.
Yeah, the people that make the Neptunia games is Compile Heart, and they're just known for making just incredibly low-budget pander games. And it's like, yeah, I like anime boobs too, but I'm not playing a garbage game just to see them.
Rip.
I can just go to any certain website in the world to see that.
Question of the part. What's the worst game you would play for anime boobies? Oh, we just got demonetized. Dang. Rip.
Alright, so the premise of this game is that in 16 hours, this orbiting space station will crash into the world. And
Are you sure you didn't play this game?
I did do it.
You did do it
like
before.
5 or 6 years ago, but I only did an X run. Alright, so I reset the game because... So, this game has a lot of hidden properties that they never explain. So, when the hours tick down, when it gets closer to 0, the Maverick bosses will gain levels, and at a certain level threshold, they'll start giving you, like, special parts. So, if you immediately destroy a Maverick at 16 hours left, you won't get any, like, special parts. So, I made a save state, or file, with 10 hours left, and that's perfect for 0. for whatever reason, in general, Zero's bosses have higher levels, so I think if you do X, you have to do a little bit lower.
So, you just, what? When you set this up, you just died 6 times?
Yeah, you basically have to just exit out of a stage 6 times. Now, if you get a game over, which I'm hoping doesn't happen, this is not going to be deathless. This game is hard, and I'm not doing any, like, cheat runs with, like, Black Zero. This is just regular Zero. So I hope it doesn't go bad. The game is front-loaded in difficulty, and then the end is really difficult, and then the middle is pretty easy, but I'm not looking forward to this stage.
So, you essentially, unless you, I mean, obviously you can save, but let's pretend you don't save. You can die 8 times, get 8 game overs, and then it's game over.
Yeah, but if you don't exit a stage, it doesn't even count as an hour passing.
Oh.
So, you have to, like, get a game over, exit the stage.
If you do 100%, or if you beat all 8 bosses, does that stop the ticking clock, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really not that much of a crazy ticking clock then.
Yeah. Like, 16 hours is like, you really have to be fooling around for it to matter at all.
Yeah, because, like, I would be worried if you want to do 100% and then you have to revisit a stage or whatever, that would be annoying, but you can just revisit after you beat all the bosses and it's okay then. It's acceptable.
Oh.
It's kind of an interesting take on things. I'm sure I said the same thing however many years ago.
Yeah, and if you want to see a full 100% run, I definitely know I did that with X. But unfortunately, this game is designed in a way that you have to backtrack a lot to get 100% in this game. And a lot of it's locked behind X's armors, which I will not be getting any of as Zero. So it's kind of unfortunate. Even heart pieces are locked behind X's armors, like in this stage. There's some that Zero just cannot get.
Cool. Well, as we discussed in X6, the playthrough, Zero's so obviously the main character of Mega Man X that I guess they have to give him some negative.
Yeah. Alright, so not looking too good on health. I might beat this, I might not. But it doesn't matter too much anyway. I'll try.
Is there any boss as bad as Gate in X6 in this?
Yes.
Dang. I too have the gravity of being on the moon while weighing 1 billion pounds.
Alright, pretty good so far. I think I'm actually going to be able to do this. Cool.
Wow, it takes a lot. I was about to make fun of you because you were like, you had 90% of his life down, and you were like, I probably have a chance, but I noticed that it would take 2 hits to kill you, so, yeah.
Like, this game, Zero doesn't have armor for 95% of this game, and things do a lot of damage, and a lot of times level design in this game can be pretty mean.
If you play as X, this is the game with the Zero, like, viruses that are everywhere, right? Or is that 6?
This is this game.
Okay.
So, not only is that space colony falling in 16 hours, but it's also spreading like a Zero or Sigma virus. So what you want to do, here's Dynamo. He's the most inconsequential character in the world.
Hey!
He is...
Wait, is this guy also an X6?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the guy you fight over and over again.
He's an X6 because he never actually dies in this game, and he's just left as a loose thread. Alright, so if you're familiar with this game at all, the choice that I just made is kind of confusing. So, all the Mavericks on the left column are the parts that you need for the cannon, which is the first defense item that you need to complete. And then all the ones on the right are for the spaceship parts, which is the second defense item against the space colony. Basically, I'm going to be completing them both at the same time. I want to do this stage right away because it gives you some really good parts, and it gives you a good ability. And the reason I did Grizzly Slash first is, you see, I have the double jump, and I also have the better aerial move. And also, so parts aren't automatic. Parts actually take 2 hours to develop. So we'll get that in a bit. But the part I got in Grizzly Slash stage is Hyper Dash, which makes my dash a lot faster.
And that is not something we're seeing yet?
No. We had to wait 2 in-game hours, so I had to do this stage and then fight Dynamo.
Interesting.
Another weird thing is that The Mavericks give you either energy and life, and then a part if you have a high enough level. The energy or life ups take 1 in-game hour, and then the parts take 2 in-game hours. And this is something that they just don't explain. Alright, I didn't forget about that. Cool.
I hope that you're, like, 1 step away from the final boss and Alia's like, hey, Zero, don't forget it's dangerous. Or something.
I think there is, in the beginning... I think they bother you in the first stage 1 time, but otherwise they leave you alone. Thank God.
By the way, AVGN, it's fine in Mega Man Legends when Roll talks to you. Also, you can skip it.
Yeah, for better or worse, AVGN is an ultra boomer. So he's pure, but he also has bad opinions sometimes.
And that's fine. I have bad opinions too. Half the games I play, 90% of the games I play are bad. I just so happen to play a good one like Killer 7 once a year. And that's fine. But dang, dude.
This is gonna be like one of the only times you ever see me use that buster.
I forgot you had a buster.
So I forgot to mention, but in the beginning, when you choose either X or 0, you get 2 perks. When you choose 0, you get that awful buster shot, which is basically completely worthless except for like 1 or 2 times. But if you choose X, you get the complete X4 armor set to keep permanently. And if you choose 0, then you're lost. That armor's lost forever. So there's absolutely no reason to choose 0 at first.
Seriously, why is this game so confusing? Like, I don't mean to pull a boomer thing, but like, there's so many like.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they were just like, Mega Man doesn't sound super well. We got to do something to spice it up. And what they did to spice it up is just make it weird.
It's like X and X2 is like, there is a heart in every level, there's weaknesses, there's 4E tanks, and it seemed fine. And then when they added like the armors and stuff in X2 and X3, I thought that was fine as well, but now it's like, oh yeah, there's this thing, oh, there's all these zeros everywhere, and you only have 16 hours to beat the game. Oh, and when you get these special abilities, it takes 2 hours in-game for it. It's like, what the heck? You know
also,
what I mean?
One thing I never realized about this game is that X4 came out in 97. This game came out in 2000. There was a 3-year gap.
So is X6 like 01 or something like that? Wow. You can kind of tell that X4 is a pretty early... Well, it's not like early, but it's like relatively early PS1 game. You just get that kind of general feel. Wait, I forget. Did this game have the Kino Capcom entrance?
No, it had the Solus X6 intro.
Yikes. Oh, that's it. Pack it up, lads. Resident Evil 3 came out in 99 and it had the Kino.
Yeah, I think they changed it in 2000.
Yikes. Well, pack it in. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin.
Alright, so at this point we're going to get some parts. So we got the Hyper Dash, so that's nice.
Like, I'm sure if I played it, I would get it, but, like, you're explaining it fine, but my brain's just like, why are there so many things?
Yeah. Now, like, the parts really aren't super necessary. It's just for doing things as good as possible and as quickly as possible, which I want to do this LP in 1 sitting. I got to do this fast.
Dark Dizzy. I miss them, I forget, did they say the names out loud in X4? I feel like they did.
Yeah, I think they did.
I missed that. Ooh, we got a space one. Do you jump high?
The gimmick of this is that the frame rate is halved sometimes.
Like, on purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's, like, slower. The other gimmick is that random things spawn in the air. So I want to go through this as fast as possible. So
That's a cool gimmick.
It's a good thing that we have the Hyper Dash already, because we're going really fast.
And, do you remember when gimmicks for Mega Man stages were like, it's water, it's fire?
Yeah, and the only 2 things really spawn. It's either, oh god.
Epic.
The only thing that spawn are the bats, and then spikes that instantly kill you. So, obviously the bats are annoying, but not too bad. But you can see those spikes just laid, so if I was on that platform, I'd be screwed. And there is a chance, I think I have the right timing, okay, cool. If those spikes spawn when that floating platform is going over it. The spikes stick to the flying platform.
Cool. They didn't they didn't put that in as a failsafe for it to just like go away. I mean, you said it was not going to be a deathless one.
It's just I wish it didn't die this fast. I'm a little nervous.
We good. The dog is nice today. Have you noticed? I'm just gonna say something straight out. Ready? Ever since I put up that painting of Castlevania 4, have you noticed the dog's been nicer?
Oh crap. Okay.
As I was saying, the dog has been nicer.
I don't know. We'll see. There's a point where I could get very screwed.
It's like the dog was like, "Hey, bud, Frankersy."
All right, please don't screw me. Okay, thank God.
What? Oh, if it like just started.
If that bat hit me while I was ducking underneath those spikes, it would have just instantly killed me.
Good lord.
Alright, so I wanted to do that stage pretty early, is that we got another E-Tank, so we actually have both the E-Tanks already, so that's pretty nice. This part reminds me of Cyber Peacock's second stage, where it has, like, gravity gimmicks and going up and down.
Oh, yeah.
This one's pretty straightforward.
You know, it would be funny if it had to load. If it was like, loading. That would be like Symphony of the Night level.
Alright, so here I want to reverse. Alright. So the virus for Zero, actually, if we ever see the virus happening... Okay, I'm actually kind of scared about this. Okay, thank God. Woo! So if we see the virus, we actually get invulnerability and... Oh, here we go. So I'm invulnerable and got a full health restore.
Is that bad in the long run, or really?
For Zero, like, the plot of this game is that the virus is bad for literally everybody except Zero, and like whenever the Zero contacts, whenever Zero contacts the virus, it makes them stronger, and they're like, why is this happening?
When's the Mega Man Soccer run?
Oh, another thing about this game is that you're going to see me not use any Maverick weaknesses almost at all. First of all, because...
it takes so much.
Yeah, Zero does a ton of damage, and also in this game, Maverick weaknesses make Mavericks stagger and have a million years of invincibility frames. So it's actually way slower to use
Can you show it one time on just like some crappy boss, just so we can see?
Well, we're going to see the weakness for the next boss, but it kind of doesn't count. But I'll try to do that for something that
I'm just curious to see like how long it is. I'm sure it's ridiculous. Alia! Stop!
Alright, so at this point, if you saw what I picked the first two times, I did Weapon and Energy because I wanted the Hyper Dash, and then we just got the Z Saber Plus, which is really good. We got that in Axel the Red's stage, and that just boosts Zero's attack in general. So those are the two most important. In general for this game,
this thing?
If you're going for parts, Weapon and Life, when you pick that, is generally an X part, and Weapon and Energy is generally a Zero part. Some of them are not consistent that way, but you can look up a guide for that.
Okay, this isn't as lame as I thought. The art makes it look super lame, but it's like a Pegasus kind of thing. But no, the art made it look like it was just some dude in a...
This is just a Storm Eagle clone.
Oh, look at this, yeah.
The stage and the boss, you'll see. Oh, right. This stage sucks. Alright, so another thing that we got in Axel the Red's stage is this doppelganger thing, and it's pretty good.
Does this keep track of all the Mavericks like X6 does?
Alright, so... This one... If the bomb goes off while I'm not in invincibility frames, it takes half my life.
Yikes.
And this one's pretty rough, so we're going to try to do this real quick. Ow!
More than half.
Yeah. So, just in case, I'm going to do this. There's only one more bomb, but just in general, just to make me feel good.
That's speed strats, lads.
Yeah, definitely is not. One thing that I noticed in this game is that enemies in general have a lot more health because they kind of figured that with Zero's saber doing damage every frame in animation, in X4 a lot of things just died in one strike. In this game, it's not really the case at all. And it's more balanced, I guess, but it does make playing as Zero just a pain.
Oh, Alex Swingle was defending X6 Hardcore. You gotta go back and read his comments on, I think it's like part 2, maybe. So, Alex, explain yourself further.
I mean,
I told him I can't trust his opinion since he like, defends RE6.
I played X6. I like Mega Man. X6 is a fun game if you know what you're doing, and I will not deny that. But I think it is a poorly designed game. I think it was rushed. But I would rather play X6 over literally 99% of the PS1 library.
That's fair.
It's just that comparing it to X4, oh my god.
That Sigma Head's like, I'm coming for you.
I almost dashed into those spikes.
Have we ever... Oh my god, Alias, seriously? Have we ever done a Star Fox 64 run?
No, I was thinking about doing that, but I wanted to like do something where we see all the stages in potentially 1 or 2 settings. That sounded like a lot of work.
You just kind of have to... I know some of them can be pretty tough to get like all set up and whatever.
Oh, so to sort of explain my route of why I'm doing the right column stuff now is that not only do I think the right column Maverick stages are a bit easier, but a lot of these stages are we can pick up heart tanks and other stuff, and in the left column ones, a lot of the heart tanks are locked behind X power-ups.
And since you don't use any weaknesses, it really doesn't matter.
So getting the E-tank really fast and then getting heart tanks really fast is good in this game when you're playing just as Zero.
I'm the Skiver.
Alright, so Dark Dizzy gave us a power to halt time, and oh yeah, I did it. So if you watch a speedrun of X4, X5, or I guess X6 as well, that's the technique that they use the entire game. But for me, it's really, really hard, especially since I have dash mapped to R1. But you just do dash, attack, and it cancels each other.
Huh.
And speedrunners are really good at it. They're like...
So you can do that in all of them at Zero?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, but you wouldn't necessarily have them... I see what you're saying. You wouldn't necessarily have them frozen.
Yeah, like
that's only for this.
That one is literally frozen, but a lot of times when they move at all, it's like, I don't know what to do.
So if they have circle and square... Wait, square's the attack usually, right?
For me, I have square as saber, and circle is the sub-weapon.
So they would have to mash on circle and square, like...
No, they have to mash dash and saber.
What's dash usually? Circle?
Dash is usually circle, I guess.
So they'd be circle, square, circle, square. Yeah, that'd be hard.
So you basically have to like take your thumb off the D-pad. Unless you're really good at mashing for some reason. Alright, so this stage sucks. It's probably my second least favorite stage.
Oh, did I tell you that Darbian's back?
Nice. Yeah, I know that he, like, just stopped streaming whenever he's like, I don't feel like it.
Half the reason was because, like, his hands were, like, always hurting. Apparently that's a thing with a lot of, like, runners, especially ones who play, like, older games. I guess the older controllers are less comfy for that stuff.
Makes sense. Wow, that was cool.
But yeah, he said he was getting, like, a lot of hand pain. That guy that I watched that plays Pokemon Gunner Maniac, he stopped playing all the handheld ones right now because, he plays on an SP for some reason, like hooked into the Game Boy player.
Yeah, I know that there was a recent rule change that you have to play on not emulator anymore, I think.
Oh, that might be it. Because I was wondering, I'm like, why are you playing on SP? Like, that would be very uncomfortable to hold for 6, 8 hours, 10 hours at a time. But he says...
Alia, give me a break.
He says that he has permanent hand damage because of, like, speedrunning so much, which... I mean, who knows what that means, but I could definitely see that being a thing.
Yeah, I probably have permanent hand damage.
That made me want to crack my fingers for some reason.
Literally, like, every hour that I'm awake, which is, like, because I don't sleep a lot, it's, like, 17, 18 hours a day. I'm constantly doing stuff in my hands.
Rip hands. Just don't be a speedrunner. Yeah, I guess, I mean, I understand them not doing an emulation, but there has... I feel like you could play on a normal Game Boy Advance, not an SP, and that would be a little more comfy for the hands, but, I mean, he does it for, like... 8 hours a day, so he has to at least, I'm sure he does that for a reason, but that's becoming more and more of a thing nowadays. I've heard multiple people say that, or stop playing, Darbian's was like a year,
Alright, so the second